Hi, Emric. You've got a guest.
Ah, Rook. You remember the Hand of Glory?
Hard to forget. You figure out what those Venatori who broke into the necropolis were doing with it.
The hand is how they broke in. The simpler undead are blind to its bearer when its tapers are lit. Sadly, only a death mage could have provided them with this forbidden necromancy.
If they're helping the Venatori, that has to stop.
Agreed. I've made some inquiries. This man is one of the death mage's victims. If he knows where this rogue necromancer is hiding, my corpse whispering will give us the answer.
Floor's all yours.
It shouldn't take long.
I don't know what kind of necromancy did this, but I can sense a bad end.
It was a cruel thing, a complete misuse of our art. The other Watchers are attempting to find his family, at the least. I must warn you, it will be harder to coax answers from this poor man than from the dead I spoke to in the necropolis. Let flame rekindle your sight. Let breath and light rise again. Who did this to you?
Eyes hidden, dust and gold.
Give us a name.
They come for this one. The spirits shriek. They come.
A name?
Blackthorn.
Return to your rest.
Not a flinch. You really know what you're doing.
Experience is the greatest teacher, and an open heart to what the spirits need.
I bet not every necromancer looks so dapper when they're working, though.
You choose the most extraordinary moments for compliments.
Is that bad?
Quite the opposite.
Back to the topic. Does Blackthorn mean anything to you?
Blackthorn.
We've got to stop this. Whoever killed him wasn't gentle.
Wondrous and terrifying are the revelations of the dead.
Did that name he said mean anything?
Blackthorn Manor is an abandoned country house outside Navarra City. Our victim mentioned spirits. If they've also fallen prey to forbidden magic, they'll need our help as well. Let's depart for Blackthorn when you're ready. I'd like to speak to the necromancer behind all this.
So, Blackthorn Manor. Let's hope that necromancer working with the Venatori is around.
There's a malaise amongst the spirits here. Some form of confinement. This must be the place.
Right. So why'd we bring that?
Oh, it's essential we have the Hand of Glory.
I never saw one in action during my necropolis training.
Oh, I should hope not. The mischief a student could work with it chills the soul. The magic laid upon a Hand of Glory is complex. Whoever killed its donor left their mark.
So it'll lead us to whoever cut it off?
Precisely. Most likely the necromancer who's been helping the Venatori. It would have taken extraordinary skill to layer the involutions on this artifact. What a waste of talent.
I like how passionate you are about your work.
Death is one of the primordial forces. It breaks bonds as it lays the ground for the new. At times, there's something stirring about the elegance of it.
I never heard the other Watchers put it that way.
I always choose my words carefully.
Bet whoever owned that hand agrees with you.
We'll put an end to whatever's happening in this manor. That, I promise. Forbidden necromancy can twist spirits, We must find this death mage and stop whatever they've done to them.
Well, if there's a rogue necromancer here, they forgot to lock the door.
The Hand of Glory's magic points inward to the northeast.
Let's go look.
I don't like this.
Did you notice? There are far fewer corpses here than there should be.
Where are they?
I suspect the necromancer in this place has already helped themselves to these crypts. These sigils. They can't be.
I'm not a spellcaster, but any watcher can recognize a necromantic evocation.
Our rogue necromancer has hidden something terrible behind this door.
Can you open it?
The door's seals are drawing on magic elsewhere in the manor, fueled by suffering.
Let's put an end to that and get this door open.
The Hand of Glory points to the northeast and southwest.
No. Trust me, no.
I pray he believes you.
Sorry, what?
Spite asked if those self-lighting candles are good to eat.
No! What have they done?
Oh, this looks bad.
Sacrifices, both spirit and human.
And demons.
Take them down!
The avenging foe!
Now what?
I must free the spirit bound here.
Emmerich?
Someone's been harvesting their terror. Their souls! How dare they? What are they? Come, I can sense another spirit trapped here in the mansion. Look at the door. Freeing one spirit has already weakened its seals.
Halfway there.
Have you noticed anything strange about the Fade itself here?
It's not our necropolis, but I can feel the spirit stirring.
Yes, the veil's been deliberately thinned. Another victim.
We've got demons again.
Can you free this one, Emmerich?
I must. What's wrong? Someone's been stealing the life, the essence of people who knew they were facing death. The effects persist, but the door we saw earlier should be unsealed.
Hope that necromancer we're after is behind it.
All the seals have been extinguished. Excellent. Let's open that door. Someone's torn a path into the Fade. It's imperative we find and stop this necromancer from keeping the Fade open.
Mierda.
The door's locked.
It's the work of that rogue necromancer. They're already blocking our path. We must find a wisp to open it.
That wisp looks upset.
This necromancer we're after corrupted it. Fortunately, I can calm the poor things when they're in this state. Onwards. Hand of Glory still points the way. This necromancer has brought once hopeless undead into the Fade as soldiers.
They also found a rage spirit.
The way forward won't open until we defeat them.
It's the last of them.
Undead and a demon. We must be getting close.
Our rogue necromancer knows exactly where we are. Why have they gone to such lengths to drain power from spirits? Down there, more victims.
I don't see that rogue necromancer yet.
I suspect they're nearby. Let's inspect their handiwork.
Late as always, Professor.
It can't be.
But what else would one expect from Navarra's most eminent meddler?
Johanna Hesenkos.
You've met?
Oh, the Professor and I have known each other for ages. But only one of us realized the Watchers are no place for a mage with ambition.
Hesenkos? Weren't you censured by the Watchers after defiling a tomb for experimental...
Complete and utter lies.
Yes, the same Hesenkos. No. The stone knife in that lantern could permanently tear open the Fade here.
Correct. Only the foolhardy would shed blood near it in this state. So, let the Watchers mourn your pathetic death in the Fade, Emric Volkaren. Those that are left after my return.
No. What is she planning?
Emric, you okay to fight?
Yes, Johanna took the lantern away from her.
What did Hesenkos do to that spirit?
I'll try freeing it, but I fear the worst. Nothing. The spirit, its essence, is gone. Johanna's trapped it in her lantern.
Then let's find her. There's no way out.
What do we do now?
The Fade always provides a way forward. We only need to search for it.
Then let's get looking. A candle. This wasn't here before.
Oh, let me think. We're in a receptive eddy of the Fade, and since Johanna's spirit summoning has already focused its mana, do you recall the ritual we performed in the Grand Necropolis? Concentrate on that memory.
You mean when we were lighting candles?
Find some more, and we can use them to leave this place.
Here's that last candle.
Excellent. Place them on the pedestals, if you would. We drift upon the echoes of the vast, eternal dream. Let them form a new configuration. And with that,
Let's get back to the real world.
we must find Johanna once we're out of here. This rift in the Fade will lie open until we deal with her.
You insufferable nuisances! How did you get out so quickly?
Where's Hesenkos' voice coming from?
The Hand of Glory resonates. It's pointing to the main hall.
Let's go.
I can feel Johanna summoning hostile spirits. That portal into the Fade won't close until we defeat them.
But we still can't attack Hesenkos herself while she's holding that lantern.
The entire countryside would be torn apart in a maelstrom.
So you crawled your way out of the Fade.
It's not difficult for those who treat spirits better than tools to an end, Johanna.
Sentimental drivel. You may have stopped my work here, but Navarra City will know its new ruler.
What? You gonna lecture us to death now?
I'll not explain myself to one of Volkaren's hangers-on, though the professor clearly avoided mentioning his old colleague in exile.
We made every attempt to bring you to reason.
I gave you every chance to join me instead of whining endlessly about your mortality. But I must thank you for returning something dear to me. Lovely to have my hand back. I'd exchanged it with the Venatori for some favors after entering this condition.
Johanna, what have you done?
What you never had the courage to.
First off, I am not a hanger-on.
Johanna's escaped again.
Wanna tell me why she has no eyes?
Afterwards, Brooke. An excellent hit, Brooke.
It's over. Emmerich, still sense anything wrong?
We were successful. Johanna's magic no longer changed the spirits, and the Fade is still.
Great. Okay. But let's talk back at the lighthouse.
At least we freed those spirits from their suffering. Shall we depart?
Let's get back to the lighthouse.
Gladly. Oh, the Song of the Chambers won't have anything on what Johanna's... Perhaps the Waking Scrolls? No. Manfred, have you seen the Fellmarch manuscripts?
You and Manfred need an extra pair of eyes for... whatever this is?
I suppose it's time I explained this mess. Johanna Hesenkos was a watcher. She was banished for embracing the darker paths of our art. Forbidden magic, blood sacrifice, nothing is beyond her if it leads to power, recognition, or both.
It sounded like you knew her before all that.
We were friends, once.
I'd guess it was a shock to see her back there then.
An unexpected reunion. It wasn't always like this.
If it helps, you've got someone who cares right next to you.
That's very dear of you, but I'll be fine.
It's so cute how you're such a bad liar.
Things used to be much better between Johanna and me. She truly was brilliant, and we got on so well as students. We partnered on papers, rituals, research. Yet even then, Johanna considered the Watcher's oaths quaint. This isn't the first time we've crossed paths since she was exiled, but now I fear she's turned herself partly undead.
Even after what she's done, I feel a little bad for her.
Well, undeath isn't always a disadvantage. But yes, you saw Johanna's Lantern of Unwilling Souls. A necromancer could create monstrous undead with that much stolen life.
Hesenkos was yelling a lot about conquering Navarra City.
We must stop her, Rook. Thank you, Manfred. Quite right. The Order's knowledge will see us through.
Hezenkos had been stopped. For now. But she had big plans for Navarra. City-conquering, new ruler plans. And while she had some regrets about long-lost friendships, she knew her greatest invention was going to bring down the house.
Careful with that.
But of course.
It's the only lead I've got.
My dear Davron, I'll be as careful with this cloth as if it were burial silk from the Storm Age. And this will be so instructive for Manfred. Ah, Rook, just in time.
Need some help?
Give it a minute. We'll see. That piece of cloth I tore off the Gloom Howler back at the Cauldron still has some of its blood on it.
And now, through the application of necromancy, perfected by the Mourn Watch through years of meticulous...
Yeah, we're trying to figure out what the Gloom Howler is.
rather discern its nature.
How?
By setting it on fire?
Patience. To discern, one must sometimes destroy. Ah, yes, of course. How interesting.
What is it?
It says this was elven blood. This was a person.
What? But it howls.
A corrupted person. Not always a monster. And something else. Dirthsel. I'm unfamiliar with the meaning.
An elven word for covenant. Like a promise or a blood oath. I think I get it. An elf who took a vow, then gets blighted. An elf who knew about griffins and Warden's secrets.
Almost as if...
It was a Warden.
I know this is bad, but it means we have a lead.
Yes, but one that points within.
If Weishaupt knew about it, they never told me. Something else is going on here. I'll put out the word, call in favors, see who might know more. But thanks for your help, Emric. You, discerned well.
My pleasure. Ah, hello there. Just admiring how carefully the Fade is woven into this place, as cultivated as a palace garden.
That's old elven stuff for you. Magic everywhere you look, and also where you don't.
I do envy you, Rook.
Really?
You know how seldom watchers leave Navarra, if ever. You've already traveled more of Thedas than most of us see in a lifetime. What adventures you've had.
I guess I have had some pretty great times.
Oh, I'd love to hear about more of them.
Really?
Well, something thrills at traveling with a daring young woman who's racing to stop an apocalypse. Especially if she's shown unexpected interest in a new companion.
The flattery was fun, but I don't see romance in our future.
Entirely fair. I do value our friendship.
Me too.
Ah, he's finished the reagent. Please excuse us. Excellent work, Manfred.
Well, the distinguished looks don't hurt your chances.
I'm fortunate you think so.
It's nice to meet a fellow watcher who's so compassionate.
You humble me.
You have a very charming way of putting things.
Well, thank you. Perhaps those years at the lectern have proved useful. May I show you something of the greater fade here?
Go ahead.
Close your eyes. Take a breath. Slow, deep. Be born on the great currents. See now as they see. When I talk to the dead, their echoes abide with me. Thoughts and passions, hopes and desires. The shades of death have more intricacy than even a young watcher may know, Rook. If your attentions go beyond charming flattery, that would interest me, indeed.
Let's see where it... You know, I've never seen another watcher do what you...
You finished the reagent. Excellent work, Manfred. I must tend to this, but I'd be delighted if we found each other later.
I mean, which half of Hezenkos is undead? That feels important.
I wasn't being quite so literal. The line between life and undeath can be porous.
Oh, okay. That makes more sense.
What were you imagining?
Well, one leg's alive, the other is undead, so you kind of just go in circles.
You were holding her hand the whole time?
I'd no idea Johanna was involved when we found the Hand of Glory. Performing self-surgery. I pray she was already undead by then.
And now you've got a rogue hand on the loose causing trouble.
Well, that raises a question of independent will.
You mean, does Hezenkos's hand have a mind of its own?
The diabolical mind that spawned it is my main worry. We'll stop Johanna. We must.
Hezenkos. I've seen the type. Dangerous and damn slippery about it.
You're right. She held such promise. I only wish... but wishing for the alternative, you'd find that naive.
Can't say it changes things. Can't change that you were friends once, either. And for that, I'm sorry.
Thank you, Nev.
Emmerich, when you catch up to Hezenkos, just know where your exits are. Sometimes you think you've got someone backed into a corner, and you find yourself there instead.
Speaking from experience?
Too much of it.
I'm sorry. And the advice is well taken.
So, you and Hezenkos used to know each other?
We were students together, then partners in work.
It's always sad when friends become enemies.
In Johanna's mind, the Watchers betrayed her first by reining in her experiments.
The Moon Watch has rules about doing experiments?
We hold ourselves to the highest of conduct.
Your old necromancer friend, Hezenkos. She's a lich?
In some respects, her attempt to achieve lichdom was only partially successful.
So there are different kinds? Which kind are you? A good lich or a bad lich?
I'm not a lich.
Oh, okay. But Hezenkos is bad? We're okay to kill her? Or re-kill her?
Yes, if we must.
Okay. Sorry we have to re-kill your friend.
As am I, Tash. Thank you. I brought fresh fruit if you're feeling peckish. Manfred, take a look at your upper articulation. I thought I saw a slight stiffness where your humeral head meets the scapula. I hope it comforted Nev to see the dragon that ravaged Minrathus brought low. Gillenane still mourns her archdemon. I doubt she'll rest until she has avenged the creature.